Welcome to the 9642 Podcast. This is your host, Mr. Number 9.
And this is The Fool.
This is where me and The Fool give our
unqualified and unrequested
ramblings on the various issues in the world of sport.
Or something like that.
Hello everyone. It is the best time of year for everybody in the world. Including people who don't like sports for things that are not important. But yeah, Christmas in December. We have this month AFCON.
Yeah.
I'm excited about. We have the NFL's Christmas and NBA's Christmas fixtures for all the people who love those sports. And of course, we have the Premier League. Yeah. We know that it's the best time of year to be following the Premier League. You are just inundated with fixtures. You fill yourself with food and you watch football. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's an Ashes series too, so you can just watch all day. Who works now? Working. The economy needs you to spend your money at this time of year. We're really reliant on it. Don't listen to the Prime Minister. Take your time off.
Take your time off. Go spend the money. Exactly.
And we are having one of the weirdest football seasons of all time.
Yeah.
Almost every league is going through some weird shenanigans, and we're just gonna get right into it. Let's start with the bread and the butter.
Yeah.
The Premier League. And a few weeks ago, we were saying Arsenal just look unstoppable. But a few weeks before that, we said, Liverpool are looking unstoppable. I love how we're cursing teams. It's beautiful.
Yep. Yeah. We are the biggest curses. Apparently, we don't know nothing, so...
No. We absolutely know nothing. And looking at the table, Arsenal are still on top.
Yeah.
There's been so much banter on the internet with Arsenal fans. Look, guys, you just are too fun to banter with. That's why people keep bantering with you.
Exactly.
It's no more fun bantering with Spurs fans. He's like, we're already dead. Leave us alone.
Exactly. Insert Simpsons meme here.
Yeah. Insert Simpsons meme. And they've just had this run of form and just everything going wrong for them in the wrong time of the year. But it is when everybody's rubber hits the road. So without further ado, we're going from the top. Let's look at Arsenal's fixtures. We'll just review everything leading up to Jan the 4th, which is the New Year fixture for them.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, they play Wolves, a nice, gentle, in theory, intro into the to get into the season. You would expect Arsenal to win that and win that handily, but surprisingly, Arsenal have not been that great at scoring goals. They've been great at generating chances from set pieces, and also generating mistakes from the other team to get said set pieces. Great at controlling the ball, great at not conceding goals, but they have lost. Their defense is basically ravaged at this point. They're on their third or fourth best choice. Marino is doing awesome up front. I was saying, is he the second best striker in the league this season?
Yeah.
I think there's a good shout out for that. Obviously, we all know the big blonde bomber is the best striker in the league. Nobody needs to at me about that. There's universal agreement on that.
Yeah, exactly. That's known.
Everybody in the world, apart from my daughter, was saying that Arsenal was going to win the league.
Yeah. Well,
she told me to just keep believing in the big blonde bomber. He would get their team there, and I was just like, yeah. As I've learned in my life, sometimes it just shouldn't doubt your kid. They know more than you think they know.
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes you gotta understand.
Yeah. And looking at the team, so they're moving on from playing Wolves. Now that would be a banter if they lost that game, but it's good for good game for Gabriel Jesus to come back. So they do have some good news leading up, and I think Odegaard is due to come back in a couple of weeks as well. So there's some good news there. They then go to Goodison Park, which is a tough fixture most seasons, and this is a good Everton side.
Yeah.
Almost as though David Moyes is a really good manager.
Yeah, who would imagine?
Yeah, and that game playing at Goodison, it has draw written all over it, like a game where Arsenal could drop points.
Yeah.
Followed that with a Carabao Cup fixture on Christmas Eve at home to Crystal Palace. And then they play their rivals Brighton in the Premier League exactly 4 days later.
Yeah.
It's a packed-ass schedule for Arsenal because they get only 2 days break to then go and host Aston Villa. At least it's 3 in a row at home, so there's not any travelling for them at that point. And then they start off their first fixture of the year on Sunday the 4th of Jan against Bournemouth. Once again, going away to Bournemouth, not easy. But, no. And by not easy, I mean it's really difficult because all their fans are really polite and cheer you on and, like, don't banter. And it, like, gets into your head because, you know, Bournemouth's a notoriously easy place to travel to. Because it was a few seasons ago when a couple of Southampton fans, just to prove how the thing of like how aggressive Bournemouth fans are, is they actually just bought tickets to the home end, and they were in full Southampton jersey kit with like scarves and everything, and cheering the Saints, and nobody was doing anything to them. They were just like, oh, look at these guys. Which is like unheard of in English football.
That is really unheard of. That's crazy.
And it seems like that's just the way it is. That's the culture of the club.
Yeah.
And their fan base. And this is like, it's a tough run-in for Arsenal, but they're all teams that I think Arsenal can win against. The Villa game is the big one, right? Like, Villa has basically schooled Arsenal the last time they played.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say that was a proper schooling. They're only 3 points behind, so they will be motivated to try. Like, they're in the title race, but we'll get to Villa.
Yeah, you say it's winnable games for Arsenal, but also each one of them is a banana peel in its own way. Like, they could...
Yeah, I mean, they're not...
Yeah, they could actually end up losing all the way through.
Yeah.
Potentially, given who they're playing, you know. Wolves, sure bottom, but that's the sort of game where suddenly, you know, you don't take it seriously.
That would be... Like, I just mentioned it because it would be hilarious, but I'm not expecting it.
I'm not expecting it, but it's the sort of thing where if you're not taking it seriously, right, and it can be one that's very as we said, Wolves are rubbish this season. Absolute rubbish. Awful. So, yeah. But, you know, the one good game could be this one to slip Arsenal up, right? As say, Everton, wonderful season, doing very well. Say, who would have guessed? David Moyes. And Everton, like, match made in heaven.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Brighton, always a tough fixture.
But
Once
they're at home.
Win. It is at home for Arsenal, so, you know, should win.
It's their rest period that's the big issue. They've gotten so many injuries already. If they pick up a few more, things could go south very quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be my concern for Arsenal. Like, I have no doubt that they can do well, but it's also like, it's a very tricky fixture schedule.
Very tricky, yeah. And I know we weren't going past the 4th, but it continues past the 4th with Liverpool at home. I know Liverpool's been rubbish as well, but, you know, still, Liverpool's, so...
The defending champions are coming to your yard, so we'll see how that plays out. Looking into the fixtures for our next team, Manchester City, making way to second. At one point, they were below Manchester United in the rankings.
Wow.
Couldn't you believe? But they have gone their way up. It's almost as though when you have a really, really good striker, you're in with a chance in every game. Who would have known?
Who would know? Wow, that's an amazing insight.
This is you get all the analysis and nerdy stuff here from 9642.
Yeah, exactly. But we're really like deep into it. It's like, wow.
Yeah, we're not afraid to get into weeds. Yeah. Now, if we were saying that Arsenal had a tricky fixture, we can look at Manchester City and go, somebody likes them upstairs, because while they start off with a tricky away fixture at Selhurst Park, and Crystal Palace have a weirdly good record against City.
Yeah.
So that one could be a fixture that they don't do well in. They then host Brentford in the Carabao Cup, so that's but they get a whole 3 days off to play against West Ham on December the 21st at home. So once again, West Ham look awful.
Yeah.
And City are looking like, at least they look like, I'm sure they'll concede goals. Their defense looks awful, but they're scoring.
Yeah.
Courtesy of having the big blonde bomber up front, who's just absolutely killing everything. And then they go away to Nottingham Forest. Once again, Nottingham Forest don't look good either. So there's two relegation candidates you would expect City to do well against. And then their first fixture of the new year, Jan the 2nd, is at away to Sunderland. Sunderland will have 5 to 6 players away at AFCON.
Yeah.
So this is where City could get them on the counter. But Sunderland do have a big squad. They specifically spent a lot of money to make sure they had a big squad. They went the Forest strategy. Let's get a whole bunch of players in and roll the dice.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they haven't looked as great recently as they did. Like, they started with a hiss and a roar, right? They came out of the blocks real strong. They were going very good. They've started the slip now. I mean, they've probably done enough that they should probably still be in the Premiership next year. Like, they've done the right thing. They've got those points. They should coast through, but I feel like if this was a game,
I think they've already guaranteed survival.
Yeah.
To the, I think they have more than enough points. Like, I don't think I don't think even the 17th place team is going to have 20 points, let alone where they are.
And whilst it's a little bit of a quirk of the draw, I mean, the home fixture for City against Sunderland just happened. Just happened? Yeah. Just happened. And they beat them 3-0. So that's demoralising in its own bit. And then they play them really quickly after, a month later, basically. Or at Sunderland, but, you've already put 3 on them, shut them out, less than a month before. You can feel fairly confident at that point.
Yep. And like I said, and then they follow that up with the home fixture against Chelsea. Like I said, City have a bad record at Stamford Bridge, but Chelsea have equally bad record at the Etihad. And this is not like a Chelsea of old type of team.
No.
There feels like there's a lot of things going on in the motions right now for Chelsea.
Yeah.
That's going to be an interesting fixture, but I think City hot favourites, because I do expect them to go on a run.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to be confident when they face Chelsea at home.
Yeah, and it's at the Etihad. Chelsea not very good going there, so not feeling particularly confident about that. It will depend a little bit. I know we'll get to Chelsea, but Chelsea very much have been a little bit hot and cold, so see how we go.
I'm going to make a prediction. Our first football podcast of the new year, we're going to be saying, look, Manchester City look unstoppable. Like, nobody's going to catch up with them, right? Like, that's where we got to put the next jinx.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
So we just pen that in.
Yeah, they look unstoppable.
Yep.
Yeah.
The big blue bomber is unstoppable.
Yeah, clearly. But, I was going to say it's probably not that big a stretch for a prediction, because if we go back, we'll probably find plenty of podcasts where we say that Man City are unstoppable.
To be fair, we're often right.
We are often right. They seem to be immune to our curse.
Yes. Saying Manchester City are going to be good is like saying the sun is hot sometimes during summer.
Yeah, exactly. In
a tropical country.
Yeah, it is hot outside in summer. Man City will do good. Yeah, same thing.
And looking on to our next team, this is the most interesting team in the league. They started off 5 games without a win. They carried all their way back. They had 5 games. They only scored 1 goal in that first 5 games. They don't look great at scoring goals, but they're winning despite that. Their manager has come up front, unlike every other coward in the league, has gone, yeah, we're in the title race. What are you talking about? You love to see it.
Yeah.
You absolutely love to see it. Aston Villa, they're coming in to their own. They've right off the bat, they start off their fixtures on the 15th against West Ham at the Wembley Stadium. West Ham are terrible at home, arguably even worse at home than they are away. And Aston Villa are really, really good right now. Like, I do think Villa are going to do well. And Ollie Watkins looks like he's returning into form.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely, like, finding his touch back. And I think he's been recovering from an injury. From what I've heard from the Athletics, Aston Villa, I say that like I spoke to him generally, but they had a podcast earlier this week about whether or not Villa are in the title race, and they did say that he's had some sort of knee issue where he's got a cyst, and they can't get rid of it. Surgery, they just have to let him treat it. So he's not been training because they want him to get rest to recover, which is very interesting that they just upfront said that. Because if they were looking to sell Ollie Watkins in the summer, that's like something any potential buyers will have to consider.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, Aston Villa, they face West Ham away. They're not going to be afraid. You'd think that they're gonna love to do that, go there and take the points, and then they host Manchester United. Who even knows what Manchester United even is? I sometimes wonder, I wouldn't be surprised if Ruben Amorim brought out a rugby ball to like next to them. At this point, they make no sense. They're a nonsense burger of a team. So Villa Park against Manchester United, like as much, I don't think United are gonna win. But they might somehow steal it off them. But like Villa should win that game because they've been defensively solid and they're really good in their set pieces as well and good at countering. And Manchester United hate teams like that. And ditto their next opponent, which is Chelsea.
Yeah. And
Chelsea, though they are playing at home, but their home form's not been great this season so far.
No, it's been very hit and miss. So.
I mean, to be fair, their form has been hit or miss this season.
Yeah, like it's not a home or away thing. It's just Chelsea. Like it's yeah. Sometimes we go on a little run, we seem to be unstoppable, and then suddenly, what's goals? What is scoring? How about we get red cards all the time? How about that?
Yep. And Aston Villa are a team that's great at generating mistakes from their opponent, like Arsenal. Yes. But they're also able to go punch you in the mouth, like Mike Tyson would say. Like, teams that are really well structured, like Arsenal, Aston Villa just come up to you and go, okay, plans are great until you get punched in the mouth.
Exactly.
Now what are you going to do? So they do have a few gears in them, so that's what I like about this team. And like Unai Emery clearly knows what. Like Unai Emery, how underrated is this guy? Like Aston Villa, everybody said had the worst off season. They had a net spend of only 30 million because they had to sell players and get players in for PSR or whatever financial fair play reasons. Then they had a bunch of injuries. But that they've kept a lot of the same squad. Unai Emery has elevated so many players in that team. Got them playing to, like, so much better than we thought. Like, Matty Cash found another level. How good does he look now?
Yeah, exactly.
Onana looks incredible. And they've got big boys in the midfield. You love to see it.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry to say, I do think Aston Villa can come in and just rob Chelsea at home.
It's likely, yes.
They've also got like 5 days off to rest and recover, which is a super luxury at this time. 6 days even.
6 days? Wow. Yeah, that is... Look at that luxury. I guess it's, they don't have the Carabao Cup fixture, so it makes it a little easier on them. Yeah,
they don't have the Carabao Cup fixture, and then obviously this might be the fixture of the period, Arsenal versus Aston Villa. They could be playing for top of the table.
Yeah.
They could be playing for second place.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows?
But it's a 6-pointer. It's a great game. I mean, Aston Villa just bossed Arsenal. I'm sure Arteta has a plan. I'm not expecting the same thing to happen.
Yeah.
But this game, it could very well end up as a draw. But Unai Emery doesn't lose to Arsenal, right? That's just what he does now. Like, that's the revenge.
That's the revenge, yeah. Yeah.
And then they go and host Forest at Villa Park. I mean, Forest looked awful right now. Like, they also, I think, they might have been working. They might be almost safe at this point. So, well, who knows how good. I don't know. I just feel like Aston Villa's gonna win. Like, Villa Park is a fortress right now. Like, difficult at home. And then the final, we'll just go up to the 8th before the FA Cup round. They play Crystal Palace on the 8th away. Like, that's going to be a good fixture. Like, Palace are in good form. Oliver Glasner has them playing like a really neat. It's interesting because Glasner hasn't been rotating a lot of his players, whereas Unai Emery has. So you can look at the difference in experience.
All right.
Like Unai Emery just knows how to manage the squad and manage the workloads of his players.
Yeah.
So Palace, like, they started really strong, but they are looking a bit tired right now, but they are at home and they're difficult to beat at home, so that's going to be an incredibly important fixture. But if Aston Villa hit form, it's very hard for me to see them losing. Like, we could call it as they're probably one of the teams that are going to finish in the Champions League spot. That's not a hot take, I don't think.
No.
But I think they could, if they'll be in the title race at least until May. They just look at that level of form right now. Unless they're in a deep UEFA Cup run.
Yeah.
Then they might end up having, getting a bit tired and blah, etc., etc. But we'll see. But I like Aston Villa's thing. Like, the fact that they're facing a lot of good teams now, I feel is almost to their advantage.
Yeah.
Because they're in form now.
Exactly. You want these games when you're feeling red hot, right? And everything's clicking and everything's going right. Because then, you can take those points, and then it makes the rest of the season so much easier. So, I think you're right. Villa are looking very good, and looking pretty hot for a top 4, top 5 finish. So,
absolutely. Looking on from Aston Villa, we go to Crystal Palace, another team that looks great this season. Palace start off their first game at home to City. We've mentioned it. City seem to have a weird thing where they lose to Palace.
Yeah.
Really, really often. My daughter is looking at me and shaking her head.
She knows it to be true. Well, maybe she doesn't. Because,
No, she's like, the bomber will get us through everything.
To
be fair, after I gave her an Erling Haaland action figure for Christmas, they haven't lost.
Oh, I see. So that's who's to blame.
Yeah. That's my fault for getting her something she wanted for Christmas.
Yeah. How dare you?
How dare I be an indolent father? How dare I?
Yeah. Understanding your child's wants and needs and, like, supplying that for them.
This game's gonna be fun, one way or the other. Like, Manchester City are a team that score goals, but concede goals. Crystal Palace are good at scoring goals, but they're also really good defensively. They are at home. I do think it'll be a narrow win to Palace. Next up, but I think City will recover with the rest of their fixtures.
Yeah.
Next up, they go on the 19th to play in the UEFA Conference League against KUPS Kuipio, and you know what I'm gonna ask you. Pop quiz. What country are they from?
Oh, dear God. So, what was their full name again? Did you?
I will search that for you. Hey, no cheating.
I'm not cheating. No, you had a. Let's say Curio.
So they're called Kupion Palazuela. Commonly referred to as KUPS. K, capital K, little U, capital P, capital S.
Yeah. Ooh. A little bit under the limit. It sounds a little weird, but I'm going to go with Cyprus.
It's a good guess, but absolutely wrong. They're from Finland.
Oh, not even close. It sounds a little Greek, but different. So let's go Cyprus, because that would be, one or two teams from there, and likely.
But also, that was the meta, right? Just guess Cyprus.
Yeah, and that's the meta. So, when in doubt, guess Cyprus.
Yeah, and once again, you'd expect Palace to do well at this fixture, especially because they're playing at home.
Yeah.
I mean, Palace have not been doing that well in the Conference League so far, but I think they're still going to qualify for the next round, because you almost have to screw up really badly to not do that, and then they'll go on from there. Next up, Crystal Palace go away to Leeds. Leeds are not in great form at the moment. Obviously, they're trying to stay up still. I think they're really vulnerable. They're getting a bunch of injuries, and they are losing players for AFCON, though Palace are as well. So, I just think Palace are in better form. They're just going to beat Leeds in this game.
Yeah.
Then they go to the Emirates to play against Arsenal, current at the Carabao Cup on Christmas Eve. As we mentioned, this is the game Arsenal would be like, do we have to?
Yeah.
But I think even both teams, just because they're so, they're both gunning for a position in the top.
Yeah, exactly.
Palace. I don't know who's going to win this fixture. Who knows even if they'll play first 15th. It's irrelevant for our discussion because we're thinking about what's going to happen in the Premier League.
Yeah. I would suspect, just a little bit on it, but I suspect Crystal Palace probably won't be fielding a very strong side for that, given they also got the Europa Conference League game, a week before that. So
yeah, I completely agree. I also think Arsenal are a great cup team at the moment. They're just a team that's designed to win cups. We go on from them to the others. They host the other team from North London. Almost 5 days after, so they will be well rested, hosting Spurs. And Spurs look awful. Can we just write it down? Spurs are going to lose this game for sure. Certainly. Right now,
it's going to be like you say. It's the other team from North London, and I was going to say, and it's going to be the exact opposite result.
Yeah, I concur.
Yeah.
They then host another team from West London, Fulham. Once again, Fulham don't look that great, and Palace look great, and they're at home at Sellers Park. And Sellers Park, they're really tough to beat, so I'd expect to win from them over there. And then they go away to Newcastle. Right now, Newcastle are in weird form.
Yeah.
Really weird form, and more so importantly, they're losing. They're not doing too well at home, so Palace could easily sneak in 3 points there. And this could be the other match of the round for Villa. We mentioned it. Palace hosting Villa.
Yeah.
Going to decide European spots for sure. It could be deciding title.
Yeah,
at this
exactly.
point.
That could be a defining match for both those teams, but especially Crystal Palace, to say they're flying high at the moment. Got a reasonably decent set of fixtures through there. But that's the one semi-tough one that quote-unquote matters. Well, they sort of, the start of this run, the end of the run sort of have to...
They're bookended with tough league fixtures, right? Because they play City at the beginning and then they play away.
Yeah. So, I mean,
at the end.
Those could be the tough season-defining matches, right, for Palace.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get good points out of those, make sure they don't drop too many in the middle against the quote-unquote easy teams, or easier teams. And that would put them looking really good going into the rest of the season.
I do think if they can beat City in their first game, they can pretty much go undefeated in the Christmas period.
Yeah.
Maybe close to perfect.
Close.
In terms of points,
Yeah.
But not to let them... And they're... I don't know if I could confidently say they're in the title race, but they're well in the race for... They're, 4th place right now, so they're one of the teams that are aggressively trying to retain that European spot, like, guaranteed Champions League. Speaking of teams trying to go for a guaranteed Champions League spot, we have Chelsea.
Yeah.
Chelsea then start off their games going at home to Everton. We've said it before, Everton are a good team this season. They're not many points behind Chelsea. And David Moyes has got a good record against Chelsea. So we shall see how... Yeah.
We've been a bit weird. Up and down,
it's sporadic, shall we say. The form is really mercurial. This is Chelsea are like United. You just go, what is even this team?
Yeah. Well, I think, at least with us, I think we know what the team, what we're trying to be and where we're trying to do it. It's just... Sometimes they do it really, really, really well, and sometimes you just, like, have you remembered what this game called football is? Like... Yeah. What's going on?
He's not... At least Maresca is not weird in the way Amorim seems to be weird. Like, I wouldn't expect Maresca to bring a rugby ball into their tactics room to show stuff. I'd be like, okay, that's a Maresca, that's a Amorim move, not a Maresca move.
Yeah.
And then, so Chelsea start off that this festive season with a game against Everton. Then they go to Wales to play Cardiff City in the Carabao Cup. Mm-hmm. I will be very surprised if Chelsea don't play a second team in this game, but it should be good enough to beat Championship opposition. We don't need to really go too deeply into that. Then they go away to Newcastle. If there's a team that loves to lose to Newcastle at St. James, it's Chelsea.
Yes. Especially when Newcastle's doing badly. Like
absolutely.
The best time to lose to them. That's the script. There are still games that haunt me. And it's like 20 years ago, and they still haunt me.
Yeah. And to make matters worse, tough away fixture to Newcastle, and then they come home to play Villa.
Yes.
So back-to-back really, really tough games. They do have like a good 7 days of rest in between both games, though. So that is Chelsea's advantage. But we saw earlier that Villa gets 6 days, so both teams are going to be relatively fresh.
Yeah.
Playing then, and then they host Bournemouth, and Bournemouth are a tricky team this right now. Chelsea are a team that could very easily drop points against Bournemouth at home. They could smash them 5-0, or they could lose 2-1, like 2 goals in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. After dominating possession and territory, and and the one goal was unlucky own goal by Bournemouth. And then like both goals are penalties. Yeah, with red cards or something stupid like that.
Like this is the thing, right? Like I don't think Chelsea are quite like Everton level, where their own players get sent off for slapping their own teammates, but but still win somehow. What is this season?
What is? Best not to question it too much. Don't look too deeply.
No, yeah. So they got Bournemouth at home, and then they travel to the Etihad. And there's one thing Chelsea hates doing is traveling to the Etihad.
Yeah. So the great thing about this Christmas season, obviously, is we've got 2 games in there that are just like known Chelsea losses. And it's like, So yeah, who knows what's going to end up. And then we have a Fulham derby.
A local derby, going to Cottage, Fulham saying like, hey, you actually live in Fulham, bruv, not in Chelsea.
It's just on the border, man. It's not that different. It's about the same.
It's the posh derby, the teams that argue over who's the more posh team. But yeah, Fulham don't look that great. So Chelsea, even going to the Cottage, should be in with a good shout.
Yeah. I think that should be a win there.
I think so too. I do think that'll be it. A tough away win that they'll take.
Yeah. And then we should have the wins against Bournemouth and Everton as well at home. It's the other 3 that worry me a little bit, but I think we should get decent points out of all 3. But yeah, how many Let's go with 4 points out of those other 3.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, it's an ugly Christmas period for Chelsea. It's not does not look fun. Now they're on equal points with the 6th place team, Manchester United, who are only a point or two so behind Crystal Palace. So it's everything to play for this level. The reason why we're going to be reviewing more teams than any other Christmas and December we've ever done is there's so many teams contending for the spots.
Yeah, exactly. So you're all the way down to Newcastle in 12th and still on 22 points. So
yeah, absolutely. The Manchester United start at home against Bournemouth. Like in paper, Manchester United should win this game. They're actually reasonably good at home at the moment, and they're in decent form for a United team under Amorim. But I do think everything here should have an asterisk. Other than the game against Aston Villa, which we reviewed, which we think Villa's gonna win. City should beat Bournemouth. Playing against Newcastle at home, this is a fixture Newcastle kind of don't do well in, because coming to Old Trafford, they get the crowd tends to go against them. So I do think United can win this game, but it's also a game where I would not be surprised if the Newcastle players got into a brawl with each other, and we're down to 8 men and somehow thrashed United 4-0. So that's in the locker for United.
It's definitely in the possibilities.
At least on New Year's Eve they play Wolves. Come on, come on, boys. You beat them 3-1 away. You can beat them at home, and I will absolutely lose my shit if they lose their next game to Leeds. I know they're going to Ellen Road. Manchester United, don't lose to Leeds.
No.
Don't do it.
There's one game they need to not do that. Is there? Yeah.
And then they play Burnley away. And to be fair, Manchester United are decent against the relegation fodder teams. They're decent against the teams that are actually competing for the title. They're shit against everybody else. You just go, what is this team when they're playing anybody else?
They're like mid-table. Mid. We don't need to try.
And so I do think they're going to beat Burnley away. Burnley's not that far from Manchester anyway. Heaps of United fans go to this away fixture. So Manchester United have a very decent fixture list. I mean, I don't think they'll catch up with Crystal Palace, but they could easily jump Chelsea. Like, this is their opportunity to try and secure 5th, 4th, whatever's on offer for them.
Yeah, exactly. You say there should be at least 3 wins in that.
Yeah.
Possibly 4. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe even 5? Yeah?
Yeah, I don't think they could beat Villa.
Yeah.
I don't think they could beat Villa, but they can win all the other fixtures. I think.
Exactly. So, and that would put them, right in among everybody, really. So.
Yeah, like that should potentially even get them to 4th.
Yeah.
I don't think they're good enough to catch the teams I think the teams that we reviewed in the top 3 are just gonna, they have enough of a buffer and they're still good.
The only thing about that is that most of those, like City, Villa, and Palace are all playing each other, right? So that means potential drop points just from the fact they're playing each other, whilst United aren't playing anybody. Not playing anybody in the top, right? So not playing anybody above them. So all their points count more because the ones above are all playing each other at some point.
That's true.
At least once, if not twice. So there's a good possibility United get pretty close to the top at the end of this.
Potentially, like if they do what they need to do. Look, United have no excuse. They don't have Carabao Cup. They only play 1 game a week. They got the whole week to train and learn their system. There's absolutely no excuse. And come January, they should have new players signed in. I know the club wants to get more midfielders in. So we'll see how that works out. United, I think I'd be super happy if they're above City, but I think you and I have both looked at City and gone, yeah, number. No, fam.
I don't think so, Tim.
Right, if Arsenal have a really bad run, they might be close to them. Like, this is assuming Arsenal have dropped to third.
Yeah.
Because of injuries. Like, they're getting... Like, this is a very worst-case scenario for Arsenal. Like, I'm not expecting that.
Yeah, exactly. Let's say the only thing they on United side is only having Villa of the top 5 to play.
Yeah.
Well, say the others are playing 2 or 3 each, so...
Yeah, that's their away fixture.
Yeah. So say that's potentially, 15 points they could be gaining, so that's getting to 40 points for them. So yeah. Arsenal, City,
they shouldn't be relegated then.
No, they should get to the relegation mark by the end of this Christmas period, so there you go. This year, you're safe from relegation.
This year we are safe from relegation, on paper.
On paper.
Probably. And looking at our next team, we have Everton, team that's been going really well at the moment. They host Chelsea, and we've talked about this game being a banana peel for Chelsea. Everton could get points. Then they host Aston Villa at Goodison Park. Woof! Tough fixture for Arsenal. Like, I do expect our Everton to go up against Arsenal. Like, Aston Villa's shown the formula for beating Arsenal, right? And Everton have the players and the squad to play that sort of game against Arsenal right now. It'll be interesting to see what Arteta's plans are against them. Everton then go to Burnley. You would expect Everton to win against Burnley. Burnley look off right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And they travel to Forest. Like, you can never tell with Forest. They're such a weird team. But once again, Everton should have no problem against Forest either.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Then, yeah. And then you've got Brentford, a team that's probably safe from relegation at this point. And they're going to try and compete harder to go further up the table, build more and more of a gap. And I think great season so far for a rookie coach. And by rookie coach, I mean, he was the team's throw-ins coach last season.
Right.
And he's now managing Brentford. Like, but he's been doing great so far. Like, Brentford hasn't bought in a bunch of players. They've sold a bunch of good players. So I think they've had a very creditable season so far. But I do think Everton will beat them at home at Goodison, because it's not Goodison at the Everton Dockland Stadium, and then they go and play against Wolves at home. Okay, we can just write that down. That should be a win.
That should be a win.
I will be shocked if Wolves win another game this season. I shouldn't say that because there's a January window, and they might just, who knows, they might sign Ronaldo, somehow.
The problem I have with that statement is the another, because that implies having won one already, and they have not.
Fair.
So, yeah.
Okay, I will be shocked if Wolves gain another point this season.
That was, the problem, you think of it and that's so harsh to think of. At the same time, you're like, but fair. I can't argue against it. That's probably too harsh. Okay, after their January window, if Wolves are not on double-digit points at that point, they're not going to get another point this season. Alright,
And that's my prediction.
I really think they're seriously going to threaten the lowest point total.
They're favourites.
They're favourites for that, and I think it's going to be quite a serious chunk out of it. They may dream of 9 points come the end of the season, being like, if we had made it to 9, wow, that would have been so many. I think they'll get a couple more points this season, but 2 points might be the limit. So,
what's your over under? How many points will they get?
Say 4.
At least the maximum points you think they'll get.
Maximum? I could, to be fair, say January transfer window can change.
So like you're a bookie. You're a bookie. You're taking bets. What would you put their over/under at? Like.
So I mean, I would
probably put their over/under at 4.5 points.
Oh yeah, no, say exactly.
If you're betting more than 4.5 points, you're betting on more than 4.5 points, you get money.
Yeah.
That's the spread I'd give them.
No, 100%. Yeah. As I said, like I see them getting to about 4, maybe 5. So 4.5 seems a fair. I suppose if I'm a bookie, I might make it 5.5, just because you want to. No,
but you want punters, right? You gotta tempt them. 5.5 will turn away a lot of people.
Yeah, fair. I mean, at this point, I think 5.5 is probably still going to be okay. Like, there's still more than half the season left.
There's heaps more than half the season left.
Yeah.
But yeah, Everton could also got into that top 5, top 4 even potentially with this run of fixtures. They're very good fixture list for them. Apart from Arsenal, which is going to be a really tough fixture, but they're at home for that one. And Chelsea. Yeah. Chelsea.
Chelsea, please. Notice us.
What do you think? Do you think that's a tough fixture? Obviously it's a tough fixture, but I think it's also tougher on Chelsea right now.
Yeah. So it's going to depend on the Chelsea that shows up on Sunday New Zealand time, right? So that's a Saturday fixture in the UK. Like, given Chelsea's current run, probably not that difficult for Everton. But who knows on Sunday? It could be a different Chelsea team.
Absolutely.
I think it's about the right period of time when they realise they can play football again, and then they bring it back up again. So it is. I see it as a game.
Late January Chelsea.
I was just more thinking at the moment the number of games they've gone badly, and Everton at home seems like the sort of game where maybe that gets turned around, maybe, but also probably not. So otherwise, it's through to late January, and then we'll find something.
Then we go on to the next team on the list, Brighton, currently on 23 points. So close. Oh, freaking close. Their fixture list starts off interestingly. They play Liverpool at Anfield. Liverpool, have they turned a corner? Who knows? They've played really well against Inter. And they've also said Mohamed Salah's not going to probably not going to play for the rest of the season. So it's never good when you've got this sort of thing going on in the team. I mean, I think Brighton can easily steal points against Liverpool right now, just because of the morale, the vibes around the team.
Yeah.
They then go and host Sunderland, and Brighton was one of those teams we said have no AFCON players going away.
Yeah.
And I believe that Sunderland have the most, 5 or 6. So
yes,
that's going to be a tough ask for Sunderland. I think Brighton are going to take that one.
Yeah.
They then go to Arsenal at Emirates. Tough to see Brighton winning that. I think, I know Arsenal are really unlucky at the moment and having a lot of injuries, but it's just too good.
Yeah.
It's just too good, right? Like,
as we said, we were talking about Arsenal. Like, we expect Arsenal to win that, but it is a bit unappeal for Arsenal, where something could go wrong. But I don't see
Arsenal. Our only question about Arsenal is the circumstance they're in, not like the players or the manager or anything like that.
Exactly.
Brighton don't have big boys like Aston Villa to go and bully Arsenal. That's not their style.
Yeah. So you say Arsenal's more like if they get in a worse hole, then maybe that becomes more of a problem.
Yeah. Or they get exactly. Basically, and the hole would be injuries, not I don't think form.
No,
they're almost immune to form, just the way they play.
Yeah, exactly.
Then they go away to West Ham. Not very few. The only game that's easier than playing West Ham away is West Ham at home. I think Brighton are going to definitely win that game. Then they host Burnley. Once again, I think Brighton are going to win that game.
Yeah.
Then they travel to City. City are just too good at the Etihad right now. Like, Brighton are tight. They should, they should be really good at hold, but they're not a team that, are like Arsenal level defensive.
Yeah.
Good. Like, they're not Arsenal or Aston Villa level defensively good. And they don't play with that physicality like both or that Aston Villa play with. And so I think it'll be an entertaining game. It'll be great to watch, but I see City winning that one. So Brighton, tough fixture list, though they do have a few games that are gimmies there.
Yeah.
I think like playing Liverpool, Arsenal, City. Oof.
Yeah.
But then the others are Sunderland and West Ham and Burnley. So even honours even there.
I think it's a 3-3 record.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Maybe a 3-2-1 record.
Potentially.
Sorry, 3-1-2 record.
Yeah.
Over there.
Yeah, they could get a draw in there. But yeah, I think 3
wins. I'm expecting a draw against maybe Liverpool.
Yeah.
At Anfield.
Yeah, 3 wins. Then, maybe a draw and 2 losses. Maybe 2 draws if they're really lucky.
Yeah. That would be potentially if Arsenal are in really bad form. Play, get a lot of injuries.
Yeah, exactly.
To the next team, we have Sunderland, currently on 23 points. The surprise package, one of the teams that were favourites to be relegated at the beginning of the season, but they spent money, they secured their position, they did the smart thing and lost in the Carabao Cup, so they don't have to worry about it. But this is a tough. Like, we've reviewed a bunch of their games already. They're having a tough time. They play Newcastle at home. That game is gonna be red fucking hot. Sunderland haven't played Newcastle at home in a Premier League fixture in more than a decade. This rivalry is really bad-blooded. These guys hate each other. But this is like half of the Sunderland squad are probably going to be in AFCON mode, right? Like they're going to be. They probably have. Most of them have left. A bunch of them have left for AFCON probably already. So.
Yeah, I don't know when they will be actually gone up, but quite likely by then. AFCON starts on the 21st, so they would be in their squads preparing for that. So yeah.
You would expect, right? So it's a tough game for Sunderland. Like, it'd be a great result for them if they could get like even a real, because Newcastle are not good at scoring right now.
Yeah.
So Sunderland could still get like a hard-fought win, which is what I suspect they do, because they do have grit. That is one thing that they they play hard. They make you earn your wins against them if you do beat them, and like they fight, and that's what they need at this point.
Yeah.
The spirit is good, the team spirit, and then they're away to Brighton. We've already predicted Brighton's probably winning this.
Yeah.
Just a bad luck for Sunderland. Once again, they then host Leeds. This is a fellow promoted club, Leeds. This is a game they need to win. Yeah. They want to push up that cushion, and Leeds have we've seen them a few times on the fixture list against teams above, Sunderland in the table. If they don't win this game, they're in big trouble. So, but Sunderland are at home, but Leeds have no players at AFCON. Sunderland have 5 or 6. So. Yeah, I do think Sunderland might drop points here. Like, could be a draw. They then host City. We can just say City win.
Yeah, again.
Like, move on from then. Like, how many goals? What would Erling Haaland score? What's your over/under? 3?
3.
3.5.
Yeah, 3.5.
Oh, 2.5 or 3.5. It would be one or the other, right? Because it has to be a half one, right?
Yeah, you have to have a half. Good point. Actually, good point. As you probably have to go 2.5 to get the punters. If you go 3.5, that's too much.
Yeah, I agree. 2.5 should be your over-under for that one. For Erling Haaland. Then we have Spurs hosting Sunderland. Oh. Once again, it's a game Sunderland could win and should win, but Spurs are really bad. But I think Spurs, they're bad at home, so I think Sunderland might sneak in with a win there. But then they go to Brentford. It's tough to see Sunderland beat Brentford. This is the sort of team Brentford beats, right? Like, the newly promoted sides come to Brentford to die.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's decent. Like, if they can do well in that first fixture against Newcastle, they'll set the tone. Like, that first fixture literally sets their whole thing. Like, this could go from Sunderland being like, oh yeah, you're absolutely anchored to mid-table, maybe potentially a relegation scare, but now Wolves are too bad. Like, just so bad.
Yeah, exactly.
And West Ham are also really bad, and Burnley are really bad.
Yeah. No, my bigger problem for Sunderland really is the AFCON and the amount of players that are away, and how much that's going to disrupt their flow.
Yeah.
So that's doesn't help when you've got 5 or 6 players out. That's always going to be a little bit disruptive. So I have to see. I think most of the people they rely on are still on a Siddiqui's out. So like some of that heart of their team's off. So it'll be interesting to see exactly how they can keep things going if they can. But that'll be my bigger worry, is just having to spend these quiet, somewhat important games without some of those key players may cause maybe more of a problem for them than anything else.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's the tough thing for Sunderland, but like I said, I don't see them going much further up in the table, but I think they're gonna kind of secure their position, like somewhere in the mid-table. Maybe they'll potentially finish 12th, 13th. That might become the new Crystal Palace of the league. Moving on from Sunderland, we go to Liverpool. Defending champions. They start off with a tough fixture at home to Brighton. We talked about this fixture. Brighton could steal a point, but Liverpool are still Liverpool, but they don't have Mohamed Salah. There is bad vibes at the club.
Yeah, there is bad vibes.
So many players are completely out of form in this team. They did well against Inter, no doubt, but, Premier League opposition seem to have worked out how to play against them.
Yeah.
So this is a must-win game for Liverpool. Then this would be a statement when Salah's at AFCON and we're we're back, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
And they have a very easy December. There's only 3 games for them to play. This is their opportunity. Their opponents should be tired. Running ragged. They should be coming and getting as many points as possible in their first games. Like Brighton, maybe that's a tough fixture, but then they go away to Spurs. Spurs are in terrible home form at the moment, so Liverpool can very much beat them there, I think. And I think Liverpool have something that Spurs don't. Like, there is something there at Liverpool. They just had a bunch of players lose form very suddenly. And then they host Wolves. We can just write that down. Liverpool's probably going to win that.
Yeah.
They then host Leeds. I think we can write that down. Liverpool's just going to win that. And then they go to the Cottage to play Fulham. That's when it gets tougher. And then they go away to Arsenal. I mean, unless Arsenal are absolutely savaged by injuries, I think that's a win for Arsenal at home.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
so difficult to beat them at the Emirates. Fulham, it's also a really difficult fixture. So January, we're not going to go into it, but January is absolutely crazy for Liverpool. They have so many games to play.
Yeah.
So December is their opportunity to rest, get their players, and they're going to miss a bunch of their players for AFCON in the beginning of January. Who knows if Mohamed Salah will be back by then. point is, this is Liverpool's opportunity. They're not playing they don't have Carabao Cup to worry about, so...
Yeah. For me, a little bit, those... the 3 beginning of January games might depend on the 3 December games. They can use those to turn whatever's gone wrong around. Then maybe the Arsenal game gets a little closer. Like if Liverpool's on a rising tide by that point, that the wind behind them and everything can starting to turn the leaf over. Ooh, that could get a spicy meatball, But
got a stew going, baby.
Yeah, exactly. But if they haven't done that, then that could just be an absolute rout. So.
Yeah. I do think they're gonna beat Wolves and Leeds.
Yeah.
Spurs is a who knows, and Brighton is a who knows. Fulham is probably a Fulham for me right now, just because they're probably still going to be aggressively trying to push themselves out of relegation.
Yeah.
And Arsenal, I think Arsenal are so tough to beat right now, especially for a team like Liverpool, who are not in good form and, could easily concede mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving from them, we go to Tottenham Hotspur. If you ask their fans, and we know at least one of them, they have not played a good game all season.
Yes. So generally that's fairly true of Tottenham fan statement any season, but...
Yeah. So, Spurs, they start off against Forest away. This is a get-right game for Spurs. If they can win this game, they are like... And especially if Liverpool lose to Brighton, that puts them in pole position when they host Liverpool in the game after.
Yeah.
That is obviously a very much best-case scenario. The game after that, they go down to Crystal Palace, and I think go crashing back down because Palace are really good defensively and are like a fortress at home.
Yeah.
This team... it doesn't get easy for them. 2 really tough fixtures in December, but they have nothing else to worry about. In December, just the 3 games. They play January the 2nd to go to Brentford, which is, once again, it's a tough fixture to see Spurs going. Like, Spurs are bad against their London Spurs right now, especially away to them. But then they host Sunderland, so that should be a win. And... they go down to Bournemouth, which is like who knows what's even going to happen in this game.
Yeah.
So Spurs, it's like, if they can win that first game, I could see them potentially getting even 3 wins, 4 wins even,
4 wins,
potentially.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I could see them, could even see them with draws in there being somewhat undefeated. Like, Crystal Palace one, maybe that. Stretching.
There's none here where I go, you're definitely going to lose. They could draw against Palace. Palace are going to be tired.
Yeah. It is,
they have a tough fixture-ish run. But Spurs, they could go, as you said, undefeated, but, that's still look really, really bad.
Yeah.
They're not that far, but... teams that don't look like they're going to go up the table, Spurs are one of them.
Yeah.
Like, the squad is really tired, and they don't even have Song Hyun-min this season.
Yeah, well, exactly. So, that is seeming to be hurting them a bit. Yeah. They needed... I know they needed to refresh, but at the same time, I don't think they've managed it well, so... We'll see. And,
the getting rid of Levy when they did is also like a big thing.
Yeah.
Like, the Spurs as a club are basically changing in front of our eyes. We don't know what... They're not in their final form. It's similar to what's happening with Chelsea with Ted Bowley, right?
Yeah.
He's kind of been pushed out, and Clear Lake are taking a stronger control over Chelsea.
Yes.
And we still don't know what that means. What's Bowley's philosophy, for all the crap he got from people online, at least he's upfront about what he's thinking. He thought, we could have a North versus South all-star game. That would make a lot of money for the teams here. which is like, oh, that's too much extra football, but also like, as fans we go, well, it'd be nice to be able to spend more money on PSR,
Yeah.
And none of these clubs would be against earning more money, by the way. So he's just putting his ideas out there.
Yeah.
He got the moves done, like how they did amortize those transfer fees. And look, you can't blame them. It's not their fault nobody else was clever like they were. Like, they looked at the rules and went, this is a loophole, we're going to do this. They didn't even pretend, they weren't hiding, or they're like, yeah, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And UEFA came in, and UEFA came in and said, like, we're going to retroactively apply this, and Chelsea went, okay, fine. You got to ask, right? You don't get if you don't ask.
Exactly.
And then, selling their hotel, yeah, sure. But anyone else could have done that. They chose not to. Chelsea was like, don't ask if you don't get it. And like even selling their women's team, people are going, oh, it is a thing, like a accounting trick to allow them to spend more money. That's probably true, but also, like, nobody's saying that they've overvalued the team and it's massively overpriced. They're like, no, that's actually a fair, like, a good market price for what that team is. Like, that is probably what they could have sold that team for if that's what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
And, like, so, like, it's not Chelsea's fault that they're clever. And they're not afraid of doing clever things with PSR. Everybody else could have done it, like,
Yeah.
So Todd Bowley, like, in that part, like, he's not firing staff and like doing a bunch of other stuff like Jim Ratcliffe to save money. He's finding more ways to justify spending more money at Chelsea.
Yeah.
And the club's strategy, everybody's like, it's weird because they have so many players. Like, but the thing is, they've bought a bunch of really, really young players. Looking like, if we buy a young player, let's even say Mudryk, you guys bought him for like 55 million, give or take, 60 million.
Something about that, yeah.
Worst case scenario, if you sell him this January, you're gonna get what, 40, 45 million? Because he's still young.
Yeah.
There's an insurance to what you've done because you've bought so young in your players. And these players are going to grow up together. So that was clearly part of the plan. Like, they'd grow up together and they'd learn from each other. They just needed the right coach to keep the right philosophy. That side is obviously bad for Chelsea because they've had a different manager almost every season.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the kind of managers they picked after Tuchel, they're all like managers who do a project and do long term. Like, the profile, Graham Potter, manager who needs a project, works long term. Pochettino, similar, like that, did it at Spurs and Southampton, and working for the USMNT now, and currently with Maresca. So whatever you might think of those managers, their style where they slowly grow players, like, from a young age and mold them into better players, that's the right type of manager for Chelsea to buy.
Yeah.
It fits the vision.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, like, they didn't come in and get someone like Carlo Ancelotti because Carlo Ancelotti doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Now, and so I understand what Chelsea are trying to do. I don't understand what these new guys are trying to do. Like Todd Bowley's plan, while we can argue with the execution, there's a coherent plan there. And like, if I'm honest, that's how I like to play Championship Manager, so I can't criticize it. It would make me hypocritical.
Yeah, that's probably the best description for Todd Bowley, which is, you play Football Manager a couple of times and it's like, that's how you do this. Right, no problems.
Yeah. And he's investing into the club's institutions. He wants a good youth team, great training ground, upgraded, all that stuff. They clearly want to build a bigger stadium.
Yeah.
And they're willing to spend their own money to do it as well in London. So there's a coherent vision. Like, and that part also Clear Lake are doing. I don't know what Clear Lake's vision is for the team. because it's really hard to say. Similar, and Tottenham are in a similar position, as we said. And speaking of teams where it's hard to understand their vision, we have Newcastle. Now, this team, like Eddie Howe has been holding this team together with blood, sweat, and tears. He's run out of duct tape. He's starting to use the chewing gum that he chews every game to like put this thing together. And look, man, if there's a guy who just elevates players under him, that's Eddie Howe. Similar to Unai Emery, just has that philosophy. But you know, they spent all summer looking for a sporting director because their previous sporting director wanted to resign. He had cancer, and he wanted to go for treatment. And they had, you know, he agreed to stay on until they found a replacement, and then they got him at the beginning of the season, which is the worst time because that guy can't implement his philosophy and what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And it feels almost like the Sovereign Wealth Fund of Saudi Arabia, the CAF, are like kind of losing interest. Like Newcastle is such a small part of that company's investment portfolio, and it always felt like you know, the Manchester City's always had Sheikh Mansour, like he was the face. Same with I can't remember the Sheikh from Qatar who's with PSG, but you know, there was one guy. He was the guy, and he made all the decisions. He stops here with me, and I'm from the parent company, and I'm from the country where we're from, so you know, we're up, you know, that shows a level of wanting to take ownership of both the blame and the success. So with Newcastle, it's hard to see what they're trying to do with that, with Saudi Arabia. Like with Manchester City and PSG, we can both set aside sports washing. We all know our thoughts on that.
Yeah.
But like the fact that PSG became a fashion brand and became this really, really successful off the pitch, generating money and like growing that brand value. Like you can't. That was like the Qatari Sovereign Wealth Fund people in charge of PSG did an awesome job at that. Like, it's an unquestionable success. They picked the right kit sponsors by getting Jordan and, you know, a bunch of other things, like and doing all that stuff. And actually having PSG players show up to fashion shoots to promote, like it's promoting Paris, right?
Yeah.
And Manchester City very much like, oh yeah, we want to diversify the UAE, not just be oil. So it's promoting tourism, all this stuff with the UAE going to like Abu Dhabi and you know, the other Emirates. So and and then in that way they're also investing in the surrounding area at Manchester around the Etihad and upgraded that. So you know, you can see their vision too, like what they want to do. What is the Saudi Wealth Fund trying to do at Newcastle? Like other than the sports washing and them wanting to own every sport. Like, I understand that bit, but to what end, right? Like, you've collected the cards. What's your strategy with all your good cards, you know? At one point, your deck is too many cards, and it's not effective anymore.
I think they're just a collector. Like, they don't play the game.
Yeah. They're a Warhammer guy who only paints figurines.
Pretty much, yeah. Their bit is to have the collectible cards and have them in the binders, and they can look, I've got this one, and this one, and this one.
Yep. Yeah. But they don't want to sell them. They're not even like an investor.
Oh, no. Yeah, they just want to have the collection.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure there's more to it. Like, I'm not by any means going to claim to be a business expert, but as anybody who's looked at our podcast numbers will attest. But it's hard for me to understand what's the goal of Saudi is. Like, all these clubs we're talking about who are multi-club ownership, big money, private, you know, equity, we understand the vision. Like, the Glaziers have none, so we understand that. They're dumb. They're a bunch of Nepo baby fail sons, so they don't know how to run any business, for that matter. Like, it makes sense, right? Like, this is why they're bad.
Yeah, It's still a vision. No vision is still a vision.
No vision. Purposely having no vision is still a vision. And you got Liverpool's vision. They wanted to increase the share value. At some point, their owners became like more invested in the club emotionally. Clearly, like they were gonna sell Liverpool and decided not to.
Yeah.
I don't know Jim Ratcliffe's thing yet, but he's been there for such a short period of time, so who knows? Like clearly, he wants it to be run more like a Fortune 500 company, an American-style Fortune 500 company. To what end? You know, that's a method, but what's the goal? Like, other than we want to win the league, sure, but what are the steps in that goal? I don't see it. Like, Omar Barada said, we're going to win the league. Our goal is to win the league by 2028, 150th anniversary of Manchester United. I'm like, okay, it's good to have those goals. We're like, that's impossible right now.
Yeah.
Like, you may as well say, I want to send a Manchester United space shuttle into the moon by 2028. Like, they're both equally likely. And, like, so Newcastle are in this weird position. Like, they start off away to Sunderland. Like, it's a game I expect Newcastle to win. I'm sorry, Sunderland fans. Like, Newcastle, this is the time of year Newcastle comes back into the league.
Exactly.
Almost every season they start making their comebacks now. Their players start coming back. They gel together. They're host Fulham. Fulham don't travel well to the north. I expect Newcastle to win that game. You and I have already discussed Chelsea.
Yeah.
Nothing Chelsea loves more than losing to Newcastle at St. James Park.
Exactly.
Followed by going away to Manchester United. Now that's the tough fixture. But those are the two tricky fixtures in that as the start with Sunderland and Newcastle. Sorry, Manchester United. The Fulham game is a Carabao Cup game, so like doesn't really matter for this exercise. And then they go to Burnley, which you would expect Newcastle to win. Hosting Crystal Palace, that's going to be a tough fixture.
Yes.
And then hosting Leeds, they should win that game. Absolutely should.
They should, yes.
So we can go with I think at least 3 games which are 4 games which are definitely wins. If they win the Sunderland game.
Yeah. I was going to give them 3 games with the Sunderland game just because I want to be nice to my own team, but yeah. 3 or 4 wins is heading their way, I think.
Yeah. And this is the opportunity. They could shoot up to top 4. This is Newcastle's chance to get into those, Champions League spots. And they should be at least in the European spots.
Yeah.
By the end of this, because they have the right fixture list.
They do.
And I think they're gonna, it's basically this is their opportunity to do that. Like, it's basically played out for them.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Looking on from them, I want to go to the other side of the table just briefly.
Yes.
Can we just go, Wolves, we expect them to be relegated. Let's just look at the lucky teams that get to play them. Arsenal, Brentford, Liverpool, Manchester United, West Ham. Okay, that one they might get points. And then Everton. Am I being harsh? Over under is half points? Half win?
Half a point, yes. I think that's, yeah.
Half a point, not even half a win.
Half a point, that Wolves West Ham game, Wolves are so bad, I expect that at best to be a draw.
Yeah.
And even there, West Ham haven't been that bad. They've been horrible, but not that horrible. They've managed wins. So,
who knows? They might loan Mohamed Salah for the rest of the season because they need a striker.
Actually, West Ham's problem looking at them is they're drawing more games than they should.
Yeah. They're not getting goals. Goals are the issue.
Yeah. But even then, out of the relegation, other than Leeds, they've scored 17 goals, which not the greatest, but also is relatively okay. Like, that's better than Nottingham ahead of them, it's better than Burnley below them, much better than Wolves.
Yeah.
They have
think West Ham
conceded 29, so, that's not so great. That's the worst, other than, said, the two below them in Burnley and Wolves, so...
They do have a January window to potentially buy players. I do think West Ham are not going to be relegated. I think Wolves and our next team that we're going to look at, Burnley, are definitely going to be relegated. Burnley host Fulham. I expect that to be a win for Fulham. They go away to Bournemouth. Absolutely are not winning that game.
No.
They host Everton. They're not winning that game. They host Newcastle. They're not winning the game. They're going away to... Burnley, they're not winning that game, and they should not be beating Manchester United. I will be so angry if we lose that game. I will be absolutely furious.
Actually, it's a good point. You look at the Burnley matches, and you're like, I don't see your points, Burnley. I really don't.
In fact, I will call it now, that FA Cup fixture against Millwall at home, I think Millwall are going to win that game.
Why not? Actually, to be fair, where are the next Burnley? Are there when they play West Ham, right? February might be Burnley's next points.
Yeah.
Oh, they do play Tottenham at the 25th of January, so... and Liverpool, maybe if those two are still being bad.
Yeah. But Burnley, I can't see how they... Maybe they'll get James Trafford back. Ooh. That changes everything in January.
That does change things.
Because he had an awesome time with them last season. He was incredible. They don't need a ball-playing goalkeeper, Burnley. They need a shot stopper. James Trafford could become the new Jordan Pickford.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Depending on where James Trafford goes, Burnley may not be relegated. That is my only concession to Burnley fans.
Yeah, well, once again, for the relegation team, the battling teams, their goal scoring isn't horrendous, but yes, they're conceding a few too many. But once again, when we talk about closeness at the sort of that up middle, the relegation battle, you take out Wolves, and really take out Burnley at the moment as well. There's not that much between
the
them.
rest of the guys, it's very, very close. West Ham, they basically get punched in the face in the beginning of the festive season. They host Villa, and then they go to City. Let's just write those two games off.
Yeah.
But hosting Fulham, definitely doable. Hosting Brighton, we did expect Brighton to beat the game, but they can win, and then obviously they play Wolves, so a bit of a recovery, and by that time they're playing Nottingham Forest at home.
Yeah.
Bit of a recovery. Once again, West Ham could sign James Trafford.
Yeah. And those last two, Wolves, they should just win, one would think. But that is relegation battle. Nottingham Forest, relegation battle. Those are two big games there to finish this up.
We both know Nottingham Forest are not being relegated because they have Chris Wood.
Yeah, he's been injured for them though, so he's not actually playing for them. But I guess he's still on the squad, so it still counts.
No, he was injured for Leicester one of the seasons where they got relegated.
Yeah, but he moved on before they actually got relegated.
That's true.
So, whether we go to look at Nottingham or not, but their problem really has been their injuries. And
their injuries, their players who have played for them have kind of been okay. They've been trained up by... there's just so much chaos at this club. They've already had two managers fired.
Exactly. Their biggest problem is goals. They're not scoring goals. So
yeah.
And to me that screamed last year. That was Chris Wood, right? Chris Wood was scoring their goals for them. He's been injured for a lot of the season, and they're not scoring goals.
Yeah.
Those dots connect themselves.
Yep. Looking at the fixtures, they host Spurs. They could win that game. Spurs are not good, but Spurs are better away than they are at home, so Spurs probably winning that.
Yeah.
They go to Fulham. Fulham at the Cottage are tough to play, and Nottingham Forest, as you mentioned, so injured. They can't get goals. Can't see them winning there. Let's just write off Manchester City and Everton, because I think those two teams are going to beat.
And Aston Villa.
And Villa.
Yeah.
But, they play West Ham.
Yeah. So once again, like, Forest,
I mean, 6 points might just be like, oh yeah, we're not getting relegated now, especially if they beat West Ham.
Yeah. And Fulham is theoretically a relegation battle as well. Fulham's only on 17 points, which is only 2 ahead of Forest. I know Forest is currently outside the relegation zone, and so Fulham's a good 4 points clear of the actual relegation zone. But from Forest's point of view, those are both games that if they win, that puts those are 6 pointers in this relegation battle. That puts the distance between them and the actual relegation zone quite well. So that would be pushing them up into Fulham in 15th, where Fulham is at the moment. So make them feel a little bit happier. It'll give them a bit more of a buffer. So those are definitely games to be targeting. You say the other ones, maybe the Everton game, maybe a draw. You say Tottenham, maybe a win, maybe a draw.
Sure. But I think the thing that's in their favour more than that is that Leeds have a really difficult schedule of games.
Alright.
And they start off with Brentford at Brentford.
Yeah.
Really tough. Then they host Crystal Palace, who are on fire right now. They then go to Sunderland.
Yeah.
They then go to Liverpool.
Yeah.
They host Manchester United.
Yeah.
And then they go to Newcastle.
Oh,
there is no relegation 6-pointers for them.
No, the closest is...
And they could
Brentford,
lose all these
which
games.
Is not. Yeah. Yeah. They could lose all the games. They, on the flip side, like all those teams... In fact, just about all those teams, other than maybe we'll take Crystal Palace out of that equation, but all of them are also teams that have reasons why Leeds might beat them in each game. So a little bit of luck, a little bit of things going their way, and they could get a reasonable amount of points for those. But on paper they should be losing just about every one of those games. So
I don't think they will lose every one of those games. I do think they will. I'd put their over-under points on maybe 3.5. Like they should get a few. They should get at least 1 win or 3 draws in here somewhere. Because they are a gritty team. They've drawn against Liverpool.
That's what I was thinking. I might actually put it at 4.5 as the under-overs, because I could see a few draws in there, and so that could, a win against Brentford early on.
Even a win against United, like as much as I would hate that they're at Ellen Road. They're hosting Man United in a Premier League fixture. Ellen Road's gonna go wrongshus. They're gonna absolutely try and get on the players. And Manchester United are a vibes team.
Yeah.
So that'll either make them play awesome or it'll make them wilt.
Yeah, well, exactly. So who knows there?
And their vibes make no sense because, you would think your vibes would improve when you see your opposition players punch each other and then get the player sent off, and then that should be we're gonna win from here, and then no, you didn't. No, you don't.
Yeah.
That Black Panther meme of we don't do that here.
Yeah, we do.
But that's the other side of the table. I do think, apart from these are the teams that are most likely to get relegated. I think Fulham have pretty much probably done enough, and Brentford have definitely done enough, and Bournemouth absolutely. Bournemouth could potentially go the other way.
Yeah. I think I'd say Brentford and Bournemouth are almost in that crazy battle that we're talking with. They're just below Newcastle. I mean, it's 2 and 3 points below Newcastle. We went down to in the sort of crazy European battle slash almost battle. You know, if you want to get down to Newcastle, that's probably stretching that definition a bit too far. But like Bournemouth and Brentford are, you know, in touch with Newcastle and Tottenham.
Yeah.
So like it's not like they're way behind. Say Fulham, that's where I'd probably draw the line. Is that Fulham's quote unquote in the relegation battle, but in the very much of a couple of wins here or there, and it's probably not a problem, and I don't see them really getting drawn too much more into it given Wolves and Burnley. Like it's probably just going to be how well West Ham recovers, Nottingham recovers, like going to be that third spot that's going to be the drama-filled one, right, as we go. And so Fulham don't, like, that's 4 points ahead of West Ham in 18th. Which feels like...
We do have to put a big asterisk about that third relegation spot, because if James Trafford does go back to Burnley, potentially everything flips.
Potentially, yeah. Yeah.
And like he could go to any one of these like teams and make a difference. I think he could go to Leeds and make a huge difference. Could go to West Ham and make a big difference.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing is that if he goes to Burnley, that makes the biggest difference for the relegation battle, right?
Yes.
Because then you suddenly have maybe instead of having 3, maybe 4 teams.
What if he went to Wolves?
I don't see that helping enough. Like Wolves' problem isn't just that they're conceding too many goals, but they can't score either.
That's true. That is true.
Them drying at one end's not going to solve the other end. I mean, then if that happens, the under-overs of how many points they're getting goes up reasonable, but they're still getting relegated, so it doesn't matter.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Now, just before we go, we can have a look around Europe. La Liga right now, Barcelona with a 4-point lead on top. At one point, Real Madrid looked incredible. They hadn't lost a game. That was a long time ago. El Clasico. Like, Kylian Mbappe is still awesome. Or in other news, water is wet.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And been playing really, really well. I think Xabi Alonso does have the support of the players, apart from a certain Vinicius Jr. Who is looking to move to try and be more in, to be able to make more of an impact for Brazil at the World Cup. But Barcelona look really good right now. We did say that even though Barca were behind, that they looked awesome.
Yes.
Genuinely one of the funnest teams to watch in Europe right now. Following on from Real Madrid, obviously 4 points behind. This title race could go topsy-turvy all around. And Villarreal, 35, looking incredible as well.
Yeah. Amazing.
And I do think Villarreal are poised to make it, to basically make it to the Champions League spot, just the way they are now. And don't be surprised if a Premier League club snatches Marcelino Toral, their manager, next season.
All right.
Looking at you, West Ham. You like picking random Spanish managers.
Assuming that they are still a Premier League club next season.
Yes, fair, very fair. But there's a huge gap opening up because Barcelona on 40 points already, and they you have to go Atletico Madrid in 4th place, already 9 points behind them. Like Atletico are probably out of the title race already.
Yeah.
And 5th place Espanyol on 26 points. The top end is very, very competitive. Any of those top 3 teams could obviously go, and it helps for Barca to have basically replaced a GOAT level player with a potential future GOAT level player. Just like, we grow these.
Yeah.
By the way, didn't you know Hugo just living in Lamine Yamal's world?
Yeah. No, I definitely get the feeling that Barcelona are like, oh, what do you mean we let go the best player in the world? Don't you just grow these naturally? Like, we'll just have another one. Here we go. So yeah. But yeah, I notice also, like you say, there's a gap growing between the top 3 and Atletico, but like that's still a 4-point gap down to Espanyol from Atletico.
Yeah.
Like that's starting to become a gap as well, and then there's a further 3 points down to Real Betis. So like Atletico seem pretty safe, he says, tempting fate in the top 4 spots there. So
I concur. And you know Barcelona fans are greedy because they were like, because Lamine Yamal in summer, shock horror, an 18-year-old boy tried to enjoy his summer holidays by going jet ski, hanging out with models. I'm horrified. And they're all like, oh, we thought you were going to be the new Messi, but turns out you're the new Neymar. I'm like, Neymar was fucking good, boys. Shut the fuck up. If he's Neymar, you guys are set.
Don't complain. Yeah. The only difference there is that Neymar went like, I could probably knuckle down and maybe try and be, battle out for the top 2 spots in the, players in the world, or I could be 3rd best in the world and enjoy life. So, hey, how about that?
Yeah.
Like,
pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, people get complained at Neymar for not trying as hard as Messi and Ronaldo, but, like...
Bro, it's Messi and fucking Ronaldo.
Exactly, it's like, oh, yeah, he didn't try as hard as, like, those 2 ridiculous players who who just had everything naturally and also had the work ethic. To be like, no, we do it.
Let's be honest, one of them is probably just a robot.
Probably both, to be fair.
Yeah.
Would not surprise me.
Yeah. It's like, when you're just behind those 2 guys, like, give it a rest, guys. Yeah. Neymar is plenty good enough. If you've got the next Neymar.
Yeah.
Given you have so many freaking good players as well in your team.
Yeah, exactly.
Rafinha, how good is he?
Exactly.
Like the underrated, should have been a Ballon d'Or candidate.
Yeah.
And then the other end of the table, Levante already on looking like they're going straight back down.
Yeah.
A video on 10 points, and Girona, last season's darlings who made it to the Champions League, they've gone all the way down to 12 points, but you might see them push back out, especially because it doesn't look like they're doing too well in Europe right now. So they'll be focused on the league again. The other, we can go on to the league that's always the best league in, like the most interesting league to watch.
Yeah.
Serie A. And what do you know? Do you love to see it? Jamie Vardy, Player of the Month for Cremonese.
Nice.
38 years old, but just, you can do a lot when you run on Red Bull and vibes and shithousery, right?
Yeah.
Those are the 3 ingredients used to create Jamie Vardy.
Yeah. And mostly the shithousery. Like, that's the base building blocks.
Yeah. And he's already scored 4 goals in 10 games, and gotten 2 yellow cards, because, that's part of the deal.
That is. Oh dear.
The table looks already absolutely crazy. The AC Milan on 31 points, equal to Napoli, defending champions, 31 points.
Yeah.
Each Inter on 30. Then we got to AS Roma on 27. So only 4 points in the top 4.
Yeah.
Then there's a gap, quote unquote gap, Bologna at 25. So that's 6 points between AC Milan and 5th place Bologna.
Yeah.
That is incredible. And then little Como on 24. They were 3 seasons ago playing in the 4th tier. This is an incredible story. I strongly encourage people to listen to the Athletics interview with the owners or the people who run the person who's the CEO of Como. He's from Indonesia.
All right.
And obviously the Premier League is the most popular league in Indonesia, and they tried to buy Birmingham City because they thought about buying a club and putting a bunch of Indonesian players in that club to get TV revenue because they're a TV company. And what happened is their Indonesian league had a strike, so they had a bunch of touring youth teams from Premier League come and play tournaments, and those games had massive ratings.
All right, yeah.
So they went, oh, okay, we can go ahead and like buy a football team and make lots of money, right? Like ratings. And they basically went, and then they looked at the rules and went, oh, okay, this is buying a team in England. It's like, we can't do that. But we could buy a fourth-tier team. They're technically amateur in Como. And then we could potentially look at our plan. They went to Como, bought the club, and then they went, actually, like, that's actually not a good plan. We should look to do something with our thing, because Como is a small club by the lake, and it's really high, it's a tourist town, and it specifically caters to really rich tourists. And they just went, we could build an actual tourism-based club. And like, we'll focus on building the club up, good youth system, good, build the infrastructure and all that stuff. And they're like, they talk to the local shop owners and everything, and went, okay, cool, we'll invest in your thing. We want you guys to keep being the people who support the club, sell your goods for good prices to the to tourists and things like that. And in fact, we will become your wholesaler, so you can buy stuff for cheaper. Because we can buy at a bulk, at a rate. And we'll sell more from our webpage anyway.
Yeah.
Because we're a big, TV company. And they were like, oh, every member who's been a member now in 4th tier will never have their prices raised for season tickets.
All right. Oh, nice.
So they've kept their thing, and they're like, yep, we think, like, at the moment they've got a 15k stadium. They're like, yeah, they're like, okay, we might increase that to 25k. We don't think we can support a bigger, stadium. They're like really reasonable, like, really sensible, like, the way they're talking about it is not ridiculously like, oh, we'll make a 50k stadium. They're like, what do you mean? It would only fill up when we played like Milan and Juventus,
Yeah.
And he's like, but the fact that we own our own stadium means we can do so much with that,
Yeah.
Which like only Juventus and I think Napoli are the only clubs that own their own stadium right now in Italy. Like, they're the ones, and it gives them all this financial flexibility. So, like I said, it's a really, really interesting. And like, they talked really openly about the mistakes they made, and they were just like, yeah, we knew nothing. Like, and we, we kind of learned from making mistakes and going this way. Obviously, Indonesia is the largest country in the world where football is the most popular sport. Largest as in by population.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's 200, I think 300 million people, and it is literally like football is the most popular team sport in the country.
Yeah. Wow.
By miles. Like, if you count team badminton, then that might be the most popular, but really, who counts that? But yeah, the Como, really interesting story. Lots of things to look into. They look like they're doing it, quote unquote, so far at least, the right way. They're trying to be like a good community member.
Oh, good.
In Como, like, we're a small town. We don't want to like be like a mining company. Just be like, yeah, we own this town, and like,
Yeah.
all entitled. And they're very much like kind of also going the Paris model of like, we're actually hiring top-level designers to design our kits and design accessories for the club and all this other thing.
Yeah.
But they're like, but it's high fashion. Like, you buy like a beanie, like a Como beanie, they sell for like 200 euros. Like, that's their clientele, right? And you're kind of going, like, I see what you're trying to do here. You're a boutique luxury brand. That's what you're trying to make it, and it sort of makes sense. Like I say, this club has a vision, and they're like, we knew nothing. Like, we kind of came up with a lot of stuff after making it. Like, it's a very cool story. And like Syria, it looks like it could it's going to be another really, really interesting season. So I wish Como a lot of luck. They do look like they could make the European spots right now. Like, imagine if they were hosting PSG or Barcelona in the Champions League next season.
That would be crazy.
That would be crazy. On the other end of the table, we've got two clubs which have won Serie A before, Fiorentina and Hellas Verona at the bottom end. And newly promoted Pisa going on 10 points. But they're not, other than Fiorentina, they're not that far behind.
No.
The next few teams, like Cagliari, who are like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places ahead of Hellas Verona, are only 5 points ahead. So there's everything to play for still on that end of the table. It's Serie A. This is another season, I think, Serie A, it's going to go down to the wire. Both ends of the table, like relegation and promotion.
Yeah, exactly.
They're both going to go in that way. And going on to the last, but by no means the least, we go back to the Bundesliga. Back to normal service. Bayern Munich, RB Leipzig, Borussia Dortmund, Bayer Leverkusen.
Yeah.
Are we going to see any different for the end of the season?
Well,
there's TSG Hoffenheim.
Yeah, Hoffenheim and Stuttgart aren't too far behind Leverkusen, so...
Yeah, but that top three basically reads like these guys always finish in the top three.
Yeah. Feels very familiar.
But Leipzig have been in pretty good form. Like, obviously they're 8 points behind Bayern. I don't expect them to win, but they did beat Bayern in their opening game. They've kind of come back to their style of play. Bundesliga is, other than the top end of the table, is always an interesting league. There's always so much happening. You look down at the table, it's like, Mainz is already on. Looks like they're potentially on the relegation spot, 6 points. St. Pauli at 8, and Heidenheim 1846 on 11. But once again, much like Italy, you go all the way up to FC Union Berlin, who are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots ahead of St. Pauli, are on 15 points. So that's only 7.
Yeah.
7 points there, and a lot can happen. There are fewer games in the Bundesliga, only 18 clubs. Even and they're like Hamburg is there, and Augsburg is only 2 points ahead. Augsburg is only 5 points ahead of St. Pauli. So I wouldn't say that you could guarantee safety yet on that bottom end of that table.
No, it's just So it's Union Berlin, Hamburg, Augsburg probably should be okay if things keep going, but a stumble or two, a couple of bad luck games that don't quite go your way, that's definitely being dragged into it. And as you say, the Bundesliga can be quite brutal sometimes. Like, there's twists and turns all the way through. So other than the top's always the same, but if you get below that, it can get quite interesting.
Yes, absolutely. Now, just so that we do it for the last time this year, we end, as always, with Mo News.
More watch, yeah!
Currently managing Benfica right now. The club are not in a good position, I am sorry to say, but they were going badly while it was happening.
Yeah.
And the club are slowly keeping him around to let him build up, and then probably next season he could potentially help them challenge. I do think that he's he will come back into it. There was rumors that he could potentially go back to Real Madrid because Xavi Alonso was getting some hate from the Real fans.
Yeah.
But he's basically gone, yeah, that chapter of my life is over. Basically, he's like, I don't want to face Lamine Yamal twice a year. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, but, in the lighter side, because we always like to end Mo Watch on the lighter side, he got Scott McTominay's shirt.
Oh, nice.
They defeated Napoli 2-0. He said that, oh yeah, it's the least he could give me. He's the one who got him to start for Manchester United and basically turned him into a starter.
Yeah.
And Mourinho's, to be fair to every manager at Manchester United, none of them ever wanted to sell McTominay.
Yeah.
And it's not a surprise to me that him leaving precipitated Eric Ten Hag's downfall, and obviously Amorim did not have a good season last season, and you can see now looking at how he plays at Napoli how good a player he is.
Yeah.
And look, Scotland as well.
Yes, exactly.
He's just become a clutch player.
Yeah.
So good luck to Mo, good luck to Benfica for the rest of the season. Thank you all very much for listening. It's been a great season so far. The last 6 months have been incredibly eventful.
Yeah.
And the next 6 months promise to be even more eventful for the season.
No, definitely.
Unless you're a Leeds, Manchester City, or Liverpool fan, I wish you all the best for the holidays, on and off the pitch. For those guys, I wish them the best off the pitch, but not on the pitch.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, but I definitely wish all our loyal listeners the best for the holiday season.
100%. Thanks very much, and we'll catch you next time.
Catch you next time.
Well, that is the end. Thanks for listening all the way through.
If you liked what you heard, we have even more. 9642 Discord and a Buy Me a Coffee.
Pretty sure it's Buy Me a Beer.
Oh yeah, buy me a beer on buymeacoffee.com.
In both these places, you can talk to us, and we may even listen, especially if you do buy a said beer or coffee. I might still be confused.
Yes, we're easily bribed. All links are in the show notes below.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
This is on YouTube.